What's up, guys? You know who it is. So, I don't really have a lot of content to share with you guys tonight. I've been long story short, my son, who's one, actually 15 months, went to the hospital the other day, had a upper respiratory infection. So, for a small kid, that's a pretty big deal. So we spent the last 36 hours or so kind of taking care of him at the hospital. Went to one hospital, then got transported to another hospital. Yes, it was that severe, and the other hospital was more equipped to take care of it and to deal with him, seeing how he was so little. So, not COVID, thank God. So that's good. Let me see here. So yeah, other than that, I haven't really done a whole lot in terms of the project, but I figure I better put something out here because I don't like keeping you guys waiting. Even though, like I said, I had something going on, I still want to make sure I'm taking care of the people that truly do enjoy the channel. So here's what we got thus far. We've We've applied primer to it twice, 2 coats. You don't want to put too much primer on. So they've not been very heavy coats. You may see some lighter areas. I kind of see it like up in here, over here. So, and that's intentional because you don't want to have too many coats, because when you do, the substrate's obviously hard because it's metal, but the further away from the substrate you get, the less stable the paint is, if that makes any sense, because it's not as hard. So that's why you want to use paint that has, or you want to use paint and then you want to use like a 2K primer or 2K clear, so you can benefit from getting the hardened coating, the final coat. So I'm kind of questioning that because I know, or at least I believe, that primer obviously has a impact on your tint of your paint, of your coat, your actual top coat. And what I mean by that is that if you use dark top coat, then you're not going to get as brilliant of a use dark primer, you're not going to get as of a brilliant top coat. That's what I assume to be true. I don't have anything, I haven't researched it yet, but that's what I'm assuming is probably the case. Nonetheless, I have white primer there by Krylon. I like Krylon a lot better than I do some of the other ones. It just goes on a lot smoother, a lot more even, and it's not so grainy when it's drying. Now, obviously, this will be wet sanded before we apply the top coat, but there's a lot less work involved with the Krylon, in my opinion. So, like I said, I'm going to probably apply the white primer over top of this, and you can see there are some areas that still show the the rusty metal primer, something that I used. I always use it on my projects. I used the rusty metal primer as a base, followed by a automotive primer, 1 or 2 coats of that, and then your top coat and your clear. So just trying to make sure that everything's as even as we like it or need it to be. And that white primer will help make the paint a little bit more brighter. Now, I could do a base of like a white or silver, followed by the top coat, the final coat. I'm still considering that, but the way things are going, I think that'd be probably overkill. The box isn't perfect. It's not meant to be, but it is meant to be as restored as one could get it. So all of the dents we pulled out, there's one dent that I had a little bit trouble getting to, and that's the bullet hole dent. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave it because it is part of the box, the affectionate name that we gave it, which is Bullet, because you can see there the bullet went through that drawer, that area, through the bottom of the box. Oh, it went through there, through all of the drawers, and then it hit the bottom of that. So it probably was a 38, or something like that. People may laugh. I don't think it was a 9, just given the size of the hole. It looks like 2 bullets, or at least it went through once, and maybe like by the time it got to here, it turned on its side, and that's probably why it went through like it did. But yeah, it doesn't appear that initial hole there. Maybe that was a 9. I don't know. But yeah, it gives the box a little bit of character, so we're just gonna leave it, and that's what it is. A lot of the inside here, we were able to kind of smooth that all out. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but there's a lot of pitting in here, but we were able to grind as much of that out as possible. And then using the filler primer, automotive primer, it helped to hide a lot of it, and take that effect away. Now, that's not that critically important given the fact that this is going to have toolbox matting, drawer matting, or liner in it. So it's not going to see any wear and tear on the paint anyway, just because that's not what we designed it to do. But I still want to get as much of that pitting as possible out of there. You can see we didn't paint all this side of the box. I said I was going to do that intentionally because I wanted to keep as much of the original paint on the box as possible. And that allows me to do so. And if I ever needed to do anything other, any other color matches in the future, I have a surface that I can reference in order to do that. Sherwin-Williams is going to do my paint for me. They've already got the handle that came off the box, and so they're color matching based upon the inside of the handle. So we won't have to worry about there being a big difference or in appearance for the paint versus the old and the new paint. So that's gonna be really neat. And they're also supplying me with the 2K clear, which is also pretty good. So I reached out to Snap-on. I got new drawer liners coming, or slides coming. That'll be here in the next couple days. I'll show you those when they arrive. A lot of these sliders were good, but some of them were starting to split. They're basically two sides, and they have a channel, like a U-shaped channel, and the two sides come together and they form a channel. And so I don't have my marker, else I would draw it for you guys. Yeah, I do have a marker. Okay. Some of you guys may or may not have seen it. Let's see if we can find something to write on. Hold that thought, guys. All right, so, and I have a bit of a sinus issue going on too, if you guys can't hear that. So you have something like that. Okay, and you have a spot weld in the center. Now this is turned on its side, so long ways is like that, but we have it in that orientation there. So, and then it fits inside of a, this will be the mating part of the box, and then that slides up and down like that. So those spot welds on some of these sliders is starting to break free, and it's a spot weld, so I could drill it out and try to MIG weld it back together. But I figured, why go through all of that when I can simply when I can simply request new slides. So Snap-on looked up the box and everything like that, so they got new slides coming. So that takes care of that agony. And I also ordered, out of my own pocket, I ordered new casters. These casters roll okay, but they're a little hard. And when I inspect them a little bit closer, they were starting to have that dry rot crack that was expanding from the center outward. So I figured, okay, why not? So I placed the request for the slides, and then I called back and said, hey, I need to put an order in for some casters. These are just, they're old, they're worn out due to time, not from a defect or something. So that being said, I paid for those out of pocket, like I said, and the slides are free. So they're a little bit more of an investment in the box, but that won't be an issue. So we'll have this box done pretty fast. As soon as the paint's done, we're gonna go ahead and finish painting the box. That'll be here pretty soon. So we'll have the primer done tomorrow. All the primer, wet sanding, all that stuff will be done tomorrow. And then we will I'll be ready for the paint. And then we'll get this thing painted. Now you may notice that's just a box. Okay, so I want to do the box first, and then I got to work on all these drawers. I have not done anything to the drawers. I've got to see if I can keep that. You see that 50th anniversary sticker there. I got to see if I can peel that off. And I want to retain that because I got to find someone to make those for me. I have searched up and down eBay and I cannot find them. So my only recourse of action that I can take is to have them made. Maybe someone out there can produce those if I pay the right money. So that's the plan, is to have those made. There should be 2 of them per box. Only this box only had 1 that was on there. All the boxes that I've seen of the representative samples they have 2, one at the very top, one at the very bottom. So we're going to replicate that same thing, the same process, and go from there. These jars should be fairly easy to do. Like I said, we're not removing the dividers that are in the jars. We're going to keep those all there. A lot of you voiced your opinion and said, hey, they can be fairly useful. So unlike the KR562 that I restored, the taco wagon box, where I removed all of that, that was not necessary for this particular box. So we're going to keep them in place. Some of the things that I said we're going to put in this box are coming out of this box here, and that's primarily the socket set that's sitting on top, like we talked about last time. But also, I have a lot of these sets. Hang on here. Where is it? A lot of these sets like this. I have this one in 1/4 inch, and I have another one that's in 3/8 drive. Those are going to get pulled out of this box because I have all the other sockets there. I've got swivels and universals and metric and standard, etc. And then I got a whole another set of sockets. On this side, I'll show you guys if I can remember which jar it's in. Yeah, this jar here. So I've got this jar completed out with everything as well. So the idea is that I'll take a lot of these sockets and I'll just keep these in here, the ones that I want to keep, and then some of the other ones I'll move them over. Like I said, the idea is to try to get more use out of this stuff than what I'm currently doing, because it's out of sight, out of mind. So it's just as easy for me to come over here and I can just pull, oops, ouch. I can just pull everything I need right off this tray right here. And this box, I work out of this box a lot as it stands anyway. My Matco box. I don't work out of my Snap-on box very often. So I can come over here. Sorry, I got stuff everywhere. Almost said the other word. And I can just grab whatever socket I need and go. And I end up using my gray pneumatics and my icons and my I think the only upper end socket I have here, my 1/4 inch drive, which are Matco ADV. Everything else is, standard stuff. But I can work off that tray, or I can come over here and do that. So I never ever touch any of these other sockets that are in these jars, and it just seems self-defeating. So that being said, I'm going to relocate a lot of that stuff, and I'll just have simple stuff in here. It won't be crazy. It'll be a nice metric wrench set, a nice SAE wrench set. This is all stuff that I got. I'm not going to go out and procure more new stuff. But a metric set, a standard set of wrenches, set of sockets, and, some extra stuff. A set of screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are just simply going to come out of this box here because they should not be in here anyway, because they're all Snap-on. And I've been trying to keep the Matco with the Matco and the Snap-on with the Snap-on. It seems stupid, but it is what it is. I've just got stuff just kind of scattered out. So here, all that stuff needs to be out of this jar, out of this box. I have no Snap-on ratchets. I got a couple line wrenches that are Snap-on or Mac. In this box here, I got nothing. I think these are all Snap-on. These trays here are all Snap-on 1/4 inch drive sockets. We got Mac scrapers and Snap-on hex T-handle hex. So those will come out. And then down here, I've got a huge proto socket set that I would like to get it relocated somewhere so that we can start using it. I've never used it, and they're large sockets. I think they're 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch drive sockets. I've never got a chance to use them. I bought them, cleaned them up, cleaned up the tray, and stuck them in the drawer, and there they've lived for the last 2 years. So time to break those suckers out, and they possibly might go into this box here. But this box here is going to be, movable. It's going to be more mobile. I have my cart over there as well that's under the Snap-on cover. That cart there is going to my brother-in-law, so he's going to take that and some other stuff that I've got in the garage that I don't really necessarily need. That's going to go to him. But that has some wrenches and stuff in it as well that'll come out. And this is that cart was never meant to just house things permanently. It was meant to have a couple of things in the drawer and primarily be more mobile to take in and out of the garage and do stuff. And so I'm going to try to make sure that happens more by taking things out of that box that should in fact be in this, or out of the cart that should be in fact in a box. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to just kind of somebody commented, I got a troll, JN and CN, he always comments on my videos, and he's always giving me shit about how my setup is, or my garage being messy, or my tools stacked on top of each other, you know, little stuff that a grown man should not be arguing with another grown man about, you know. But, you know, they don't make grown men anymore, so that kind of ended. So that being said, you know, I have to listen to that BS every once in a while. So, but he had a little bit of a point in terms of having things that are stacked up. So in an effort to unclutter a lot of this stuff, I'm going to kind of break things up and then get it more into service, more into the service rotation. And we'll go from there. So guys, I guess this video went longer than what I anticipated. I didn't think we were going to hit 17 minutes, but I guess we are. But yeah, that's the update on the box. Like I said, we got to do the drawers. Oh, one last thing before I get out of here. I know most of you guys already dropped off because most people only watch my videos for like 6 or 7 minutes. So, but here, this surface here, you notice that the lid is not on the box. That was done intentionally. Number one, you can't do a proper restoration unless you break it down as much as you feasibly can, what makes sense without hurting the box in itself. So I pulled that off, and that allowed me to have access to this entire surface. Otherwise, I would have only had about half of it that was exposed that could receive primer, paint, etc. So by removing the, what do you call it? You know what I'm saying. I can't think, spot wells, not spot wells, but whatever, you know what those are. By removing those out, I now effectively have access to the entire surface, and I can coat it, paint it, etc. And then when I put the top back on, everything would be color matched, and it's done as it should be done. So we're kind of taking our time on it, but at the same time, I want it done. I don't want this to be a 2-month project. I don't even want it to be a month project. I want it to be like a couple weekends, 2 to 3 weekends, to be done with it. So that's our goal. So I hope you guys like the progress. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about what we've done thus far. And then we will go from there. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Good night. Peace.